Alright friends, welcome back to the MDmedic podcast. Today I'm going to teach you the art of supreme seduction on the first date. Let's go. Alright friends, as always, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. Help us grow, help us get this message out there, help us continue to produce quality content for you guys every week. So let's get right into it. Nailing the first date is very important because the first date is a crucial first impression that is so hard to undo. The first date also sets the tone of your interactions with the woman going forward. Whether or not she will be a platonic, money-spending time waster, or she will be hot and heavy for you, all depends on how you perform on the first date. Now, before the first date, there is some groundwork that needs to be laid. You guys should go and watch the video that I did on learning how to confidently, physically approach a woman so that you guys will even be able to chat up a woman in the first place and get her to go on a date with you. Once you've already found a girl that you've been chatting up, if you've been texting her, if you've been messaging her on social media, what you need to do is you need to ask this girl to go on a physical date very quickly, rather than spend lots of time just messaging her. Competition is everywhere. You have to think, the average woman is approached thousands of times, millions of times maybe in her lifetime by men left and right. Men have to work to be attracted to women, but women are just inherently attractive. And for every girl that you want, another guy, heck, 1,000 guys want her as well. So you have to stand out as the competition. I'm sure there's 100 dudes in her phone that are trying to text her, whether you like it or not. So you have to stand out, and you have to very quickly ask her on a date, very quickly make this into a physical date instead of just being one of the many people that gives her just free attention through her phone, through her social media. You have to be that guy. You must outcompete the competition. You must also set the frame in asking her to go on a date with you quickly instead of just mindlessly messaging her for hours and days and weeks on end. You have to set the frame so that she knows that she just won't use you for attention. That you're not going to be just like all these other guys that just gives her the free attention, meets all of her emotional needs for attention and validation. You're not going to be that. You're either going to be nothing to her or something serious. The last place you want to be is in the friend zone with the girl. And I dare say there's not really a purpose in having female friends unless there is, a business relationship, a mutually beneficial relationship where both of you are making money, maybe both of you are training on the same MMA team, maybe both of you are business partners or go to the same church. But otherwise, there's not really much of a purpose of having female friends. Think about it. You're out with your female friends, somebody jumps you. Somebody gets in a fight with you. Is she going to be able to help you? No. You guys are out in a situation and something becomes dangerous and you need to be able to think quickly, move quickly, and react without having a whole lot of emotions and be very stoic and very, militaristic in your approach. Is she going to be able to do that? More likely not as good as a male would. Or let's just say you have a problem. You have real problems and real struggles going on in your life and you need somebody to talk to. Is a female going to be able to offer you the same advice that a man is going to be able to? No, she won't, because as I said, women live life on easy mode. Women get things handed to them all the time. Women might break down on the side of the road and always going to have somebody that's, going to be willing to come and help them change their tire. Or, a woman might be at a grocery store and have men randomly approach and ask to pay for her groceries. But a man is going to understand the true raw dog meaning of what it means to have to build yourself in this world. So a man is going to be able to offer you the best advice. So what I'm saying is this: never be in the friend zone with the woman. Women are pretty useless as friends. If they're not smashing you, if they're not in a relationship with you, if there's not a business or, purpose to your relationship, just being friends with a woman is pretty worthless. So therefore, you must set the frame so that she knows that you won't just use her for attention, for just endless messaging and validation. All right, guys, another ground rule, another mindset that needs to be in place before you even go on a date is this: you should never be one-track minded with girls you first meet. You should spin your plates and have a steady rotation of women. The girl that you're going to take out is interviewing to join your rotation. You need to have an abundance mindset. I'm going to further explain later what the abundance mindset is. But the abundance mindset is one of the most important things to make you attractive to a woman. And it is so much easier to have an abundance mindset when you have a true abundance of women. You need to have a rotation of women. Another rule: you should only even consider going on a date with a girl who is showing you genuine interest. This is an iron rule of Rollo Tomassi. Iron rule of Rollo Tomassi. Rollo Tomassi is the author of the book, The Rational Male, which is essentially like a guidebook to red pill praxeology, to understanding how to live like a man who is dominant, who is alpha. All of you should read The Rational Male series by Rollo Tomassi. And in his books, Rollo Tomassi said, genuine desire cannot be negotiated. There's nothing that can take the place of genuine desire. Do not settle for a girl who doesn't enthusiastically reply to you and engage in conversation. She is not worth your time and effort. A girl that doesn't like you guys, even though she may not want a relationship with you, even though she may not want to have sex with you, guess what? She will still use you for free food and free experiences and free attention and all the things that dudes will give her on a date. Do not have anything to do with the girl who doesn't truly desire you. All right, ground rules are out of the way. Let's talk about selecting the place for the first date. So you should choose a place that fosters good conversation. So I honestly don't like the movies for a good first date because of this. A good first date restaurant is like a lower mid-tier place like Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse or Red Lobster, just as I said, lower kind of mid-tier. A good place to sit down that has decent food, that's not bad, you can enjoy your experience, but not so expensive that you're wasting tons of money if she's not into you. Last thing you want to do is take a girl on a first date to Ruth's Chris just to find out that she's not into you. Or take a girl who is literally uninterested, unengaged, and just wants the experience, wants the free food, only wants to go on the date to take a picture of her plate, to post on Instagram to say that she's having the experience, and you take her to Capitol Grill and spend a few $100s. That is not worth it, guys. As I said, the lower end of the mid-tier restaurants, Texas Roadhouse, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, that's kind of where you want to be. And part of choosing the first date and choosing the environment is establishing your leadership and frame very, very early. Do not ask the girl what she's wearing and what she wants to eat. You should choose a place based off of what you've gathered that she likes from your conversation with her and tell her where to meet you. Tell her the time to meet you there and tell her what to wear. It sets the tone for your authority, and girls actually really like it when you take charge and plan dates. We've talked many times at length about the primal mindset of women when it comes to their attraction triggers. Since the beginning of time, women have looked for a man that's taller than them, that's stronger than them, that has the ability to lead them, to protect them, to provide for them, because for the majority of human history, if a woman did not find the big, strong, hunter, warrior, alpha male that could provide for her, his other wives, and, the kids that he has, she would die. She'd be attacked by warring tribes and taken as a concubine, taken as a slave. She'd be attacked by saber-toothed tigers. She'd be attacked by angry prehistoric animals. Like, she had to find an alpha male. And so, though we live in a more comfortable, more safe world now, the things that women are attracted to are still there. So that by you even setting the authority to say, hey, I'm going to lead you, I'm going to tell you where to be, I'm going to choose the restaurant, I'm going to tell you what to wear, that sets you up in an authority and leadership frame that still actually triggers those very primal attraction triggers. And now, guys, let's actually talk about what's due on the day of the date. this is going to be a massive game changer for you. This is going to be probably the missing link that a lot of you have not been employing in your first date strategy. This is a game changer. Always plan the first date on a day that you have something to do afterwards, and let the girl know this up front. This will help let her guard down. Listen guys, a girl is used to guys always trying to smash them on the first date. A girl is used to guys always trying to get into her pants on the first date. And so oftentimes girls, instead of actually spending her time and her energy and her mental effort into getting to know you, into actually building interest in you and listening to you, a lot of her energy and a lot of her mental effort goes into trying to not get smashed on the first date. She always tries to protect herself. You know, women have this innate anti-slut defense in which they understand that their primary value is their sexual value and they don't want to give it up easy. And so, if you are just trying to smash all the time so hard on the first date, then a girl is going to be having her anti-slut defense in swing, full, 100%. And what this is going to do, as I said, is going to take her mind off of getting to know you and put her energy and her effort on trying not to get smashed on the first date. And guess what? Even if she really does like you, even if she really does want to have sex with you on the first date, oftentimes, if she does have sex with you, she's going to be trying to validate in her own mind. Should I have done that? Do I regret giving it up so easy? It's not okay for me to do that. I'm not normally the kind of girl that gives it up on the first date. Does he really love me if I gave it up on the first date? Like, she's always going to be playing these mental games, even if you do get it in on the first date. Now, mind you, there are times in which the sparks are flying and it just happens and the desire is genuine and she really, really wants it and doesn't have to self-validate it in her mind. But we have to make rules based on general and not the exception. So guys, always plan the first date on a day that you have something to do afterwards, and let the girl know this up front. And what this is going to do is this is going to make her more comfortable. This is going to lower her guard so she can actually spend her energy to get to know you and to actually, get to fall for you, and not just trying not to get laid, trying to make excuses to not have sex with you. So, for example, I think you should plan a date in the daytime. And always say something like, hey, I have a meeting I have to get to after this. I have only a set amount of time. I have to work after this. I have to go to the gym and train after this. I have XYZ to do. And what that does to the girl is that lets her know she doesn't have to have her anti-slut defense up, and she can actually relax and get to know you. And then once again, as you guys know, I don't like to just say things. I like to prove everything that I say with facts, data, and statistics. So guys, look at this right here. This is an article on Bustle that is actually quoting a study on this exact same thing. According to Match.com's 2018 Singles in America survey for over 5,000 singles across the country, ages 18 to 70, and of all ethnicities and sexual orientations, the most important thing single women are looking for on a first date isn't a surprise bouquet of flowers, but a feeling. And that feeling is comfort. Of the women surveyed, 79% say they most care about feeling comfortable on the first date, even above being happy. Guys, does that right there not prove my point? Women value being comfortable more than anything else. And what makes them most uncomfortable is you being so thirsty and feeling like you have to smash and providing so much pressure to make them feel obligated, like they have to have sex with you. So guys, eliminate this entirely by planning the first date on a day that you have something to do. And even if you don't have something to do afterwards, tell her that so that her guard goes down and she's more comfortable and feels like you're not just trying to screw her. Because if you do it this way, if you do it the way that I'm telling you, I guarantee when she does screw you, it's going to be so much better. It's going to be crazy, animalistic, primal intimacy because she actually wants you and she feels comfortable with smashing you. And I guarantee, guys, if you do things my way, you almost guarantee the smash on the second date if that's what you want. So that's why I'm saying, guys, the first date is all about building sexual tension and making her want to screw you. The first date is about making her think that it is her idea to have sex when it does happen. Once again, I have to quote the iron rule of Rollo Tomasi. Genuine desire cannot be negotiated. And some of you guys that I'm talking to are way too horny, way too scarcity minded, way too desperate to on purpose restrain yourself and not be up forward and straight up about trying to smash her on the first date. Most of you are way too desperate and way too scarcity minded to do this. This is why you need a rotation, guys. This is why I'm telling you. A girl that you are dating, a girl that you're taking out on a date should just be a girl who's applying, who's interviewing to go and become part of your rotation of girls you already have. You should be spinning your plates. You should have a bunch so that it's really not that big of a deal if she turns you down. If you have a rotation, guys, it's not a big deal if you don't get laid that night because you already have other girls that you can go back to and satisfy your needs. You're not going to seem so desperate. You're not going to seem so scarcity-minded if you, in the back of your head, know you have other girls. And having other girls will make her not seem like such a novelty, and you won't pedestalize her more than she's worth. And that's going to make you more attractive, guys. An abundance mindset, guys, will make you more sexy to a woman. And not seeming too desperate to screw her will make you stand out from all of the thousands of men that just want to get in her pants at no cost and are just mad thirsty and mad desperate. Because this will imply that you will have options. This will imply that something about you is different, that something about you and your value is better and stands out above her other options. And this will make you sexier. There is this theory called pre-selection. And essentially the idea of pre-selection says that when you have other women around you and showing interest in you, that makes you more attractive to women. And that makes sense. Let's go back to, the primal caveman woman and her attraction triggers. Right? A woman, it was absolutely imperative in those times that she chose a big, strong, capable, competent man who was a good hunter, a good provider, good at building shelters, good at killing people, good at fighting off enemy tribes. She had to choose one of those people to mate with, otherwise she would die. If she didn't choose the biggest, strongest option possible, her kids would starve, her family would get eaten up by wild animals, and the neighboring warlord would come with his tribe and kill her children, or take them as slaves. This is why when a woman is selecting for a man, it is in her mindset to choose the best option possible. So imagine this cave woman. If she's out trying to choose a man, to choose a husband to mate with, to have children with, she has to do a lot of vetting to make sure that she's making the right decision, because her making the wrong decision can cost the lives of her and her children. So think about this, guys. What kind of man would this cave woman need to do the least amount of vetting for? A guy who already has 7 wives and a bunch of children and he's taking care of and protecting them? Or a guy who's got no children and no women? We already know this, guys. The guy who has no children and no women that are actually desiring him and around him, he is a gamble. He is a risk because we don't actually know for sure if he can take care of, provide for, and protect a family, protect women. We don't know that. The woman does not know that. However, she sees the dude that is surrounded by women, that has a bunch of women already, that has a bunch of women that are wanting him, that are sleeping with him, that he's making children with. She already knows that if he is taking care of them, if he's providing for them and protecting them, then he can definitely do that for me too. And that is the idea of pre-selection. When other women validate your value, when other women pre-select you, a woman who is interested in you has to do a whole lot less vetting, has to do a whole lot less testing to see if you are really the best option that she has. So having the ability to have other women, having other women around you, or even having the subconscious implication that you have or can get other women is pre-selection value that makes you seem more valuable to a woman. So by you not acting so desperate and so thirsty to sleep with a woman, it subconsciously tells her he has other options, and that makes you more attractive to her. An abundance mindset is sexy to women. Once again, I'll pull up a study to validate what I'm saying. This study essentially says that men become more attractive to women when they have other women around them and other women desiring them. So guys, having an abundance mindset is essential. And having an abundance mindset and an abundance appearance is easier when you actually do have the abundance. When you actually do have the women and the options all around you. But I understand a lot of you may be starting from scratch. A lot of you may not have any women and you go on dates to try to even build your rotation. So as you're building your harem, you have to consciously put your mind under some mental judo, under some mental aikido, and tell yourself to think and put off like you do have options, because frame is everything. So when you're actually here on this date, you have to present yourself as a person who has options, as a person who is a higher value man. So we're going to talk about the things you can do to give off that persona, which will make the woman want you and desire you more. And this can start with how you dress. So when you come to this date, you dress in clothes that wear you. This is how you should dress, gentlemen. The clothes should wear the man and not the man wear the clothes. Shout out to Justin Waller. I got that quote from him. What that means is this, guys. You should be working hard to be your best self. You should be in the gym. You should be getting your physique right. You should be getting your body in shape. And once you've worked hard to do that, then you should wear clothes that fit you perfectly. Not clothes that fit too loosely, but clothes that actually show and accentuate your muscles and your curvatures. That's what you should do. You should be the one that makes the clothes look good, right? The clothes are wearing the man and not the man wearing the clothes. So guys, a good move for a first date is always a solid colored t-shirt. Just a solid colored t-shirt that fits you great, shows your muscles, some jeans, a nice belt, like a Louis Vuitton belt, Gucci belt, or you could go with Coach, or even doesn't have to be name brand, just a good, clean, professional looking belt, just a solid, clean look. I'll show a couple examples on the screen of what is good first date attire, guys. I'll give you some ideas. But something that doesn't flex too hard, but demonstrates, hey, this guy's in shape, he takes care of himself, he cares about grooming, he has class, he has style. And guys, also part of your presentation is how you smell. You should smell good before the date. Make sure you are showered up. I wouldn't think that I have to tell grown men that they need to be like serious about their hygiene. I wouldn't think I would have to say so, but daily showers are essential, guys. Listen, I always get compliments on how I smell, and I really don't do things that are too crazy. Like, I shower every day. I put on deodorant every single day. Well, twice a day after I shower and when I get up in the morning. And when I put on lotion, I use like Bath & Body Works men lotion that actually has scent to it, has a strong masculine scent, stays on your skin for a long time. And then I layer a really nice cologne on top of that. A cologne that is not like alcohol based, but oil based. So it's not overpowering and giving people a headache, but mixed with other fragrances to really just layer well. It lasts a long time. It leaves a strong masculine just presence that implies higher value, guys. Your smell is absolutely important. Don't go cheap on good cologne, right? Like, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't really spend worthless money on, but cologne is something you should not go cheap on. A little advantage in how you smell causes big wins. Little advantages go a long way. As I said, guys, you have to stand out in as much as you can. So you look good, you're dressed right, you smell good. It's not too much, but it's just the right amount of mwah in your scent, so when you walk past, like, just that trail of masculine energy just catches everyone's attention. So you're here, your presentation's perfect. The girl meets you there, or you go and pick up the girl and you guys are now at the restaurant. When you guys are walking into this building, guys, as I said, I'm going to give you guys step-by-step instructions on how to ace this thing. When you're at the venue, when you're at the restaurant, open the door. Allow the girl to go in front of you. Be a gentleman. Pull out the chair for her. But don't over-pedestalize her, right? You have to have this balance of being a gentleman, of being respectful, but not over-pedestalizing her like she's above you. Because if you put a girl above you, she's going to feel like she's above you and therefore not respect you. Because girls do not want their equal. Girls are not attracted to their equal. Girls are attracted to their superior. Look at what they want. They want a guy that makes more money than them, that's taller than them, stronger than them, smarter than them, and is a better leader than them. That's what girls are most attracted to. So you have to balance the playing the gentleman with the not putting her on a pedestal. So when you get there, give only one compliment to start. Don't just pine over and over again about how beautiful and how gorgeous she is. Give her one compliment to start. Don't get her way too inflated in her head and make her think that she's above you, because if you make her think she's above you, she's going to treat you like she is above you. Give her one compliment to start, and that will also give you the implication of higher value and abundance. Say something like, hey, you look really nice today. You look beautiful today. You showed up looking very classy, and I appreciate that. And then when you look at her as you're speaking to her, give her a sly smirk, right? A smirk is better than a smile. You give yourself that bad boy persona. You give yourself that edge, that small, like, exciting little edge to you. If you smile too much, she might take you as the nice guy, and the nice guy gets friend zone and not smashed, and you don't want to be put in the friend zone. Now, you got her to the table, you gave her the compliment, you're smirking instead of smiling, you look good, you smell good, you're big G, you've already started to establish some frame. Here's the next step. The next step is conversation. When you talk to this girl, let her talk about herself. If there is something that a girl can talk about to no end, it is herself. Girls love to talk about herself. They're solipsistic by nature. The world revolves around them in their own mind. So As she's talking to you and she says, oh, I do this, I do that, like make comments about what she says as if you care, even if you don't. I'll give you an example. She says, oh, I'm a model, I'm an Instagram model, I am trying to be an influencer on TikTok, I am doing all of this stuff. Yeah, I have a vlog about my hair and my nails and my makeup. You comment, you know what? A lot of people don't think so, but it must be really hard to be a TikTok influencer, or it must be really hard to be an Instagram model. I'm sure you have to put forth a lot of work to make sure the lighting's good. You put forth a lot of work to make sure that your makeup and nails are good. Like, I'm pretty sure that takes a lot of energy and effort. I don't know how you do it, and I think people don't really appreciate how much work you have to put forth. And then she'll be like, oh, you really care? Yeah, it is a lot of hard work, even while you know in your mind, like, that's bull crap. There's nothing to that. Like, she doesn't have to offer that much value for men to be attracted to her. But you're still building rapport with her. You're still getting her engaged in conversation, and girls love to talk about themselves. They crave attention. Girls love to talk about themselves. Now, when it comes time to talking about you, because eventually she's going to say, well, enough about me. I'm glad you care, though. You're such a good conversationalist, but I want to learn about you. When it comes to talking about yourself, don't give too much. Say just enough to get the point across, to get her curiosity going, but don't tell too much, because girls crave excitement. Never make a girl feel like she's got you figured out fully. A girl's discovery of your higher value attributes makes her more intrigued, aroused, and curious about you. Make simple allusions to the things that you do in your life, and cause her to inquire and to discover more. Let's just say you are an ER doctor or something, and she asks you, hey, what do you do for your job? What do you do for a living? Do you like your job? How do you feel about your job? How do you feel about your career? Something like that. She asks you that. A response you could say is, you know what? I like my job. I get to make a difference in people's lives. I'm around blood a lot, and it can be kind of stressful, but overall, it's a really great experience. I feel so validated in what I do. That right there will make her curious to ask you more. And then you could slowly reveal, oh, I'm an ER doc. And then it's going to be like a wow, discovery factor. She realizes all the qualities that add value to you. You make a girl excited. Girls crave excitement all the time. Demonstration of your value and her discovery of your value is so much better than explicating your value. There's a thing called the cat string theory, which is put forth by Neil Strauss in the book The Game, which is a book about, the art of pickup game, the art of picking up women. And he essentially says this, that women behave like a cat with a string. As long as you're dangling the string in front of them and just outside of their reach, dangling it in front of their face, right above their head, just where they can't get it, they will be engaged with that string and engaged with the action of chasing that string and playing with it for hours and hours on end. But the moment you drop that string and it's right there in front of them, they're going to paw at it for a couple seconds and then they're going to lose interest. Women are like cats with the string. Always have them on a journey discovering more about you and more about your value. As I said, demonstration and discovery is better than explication. What you want to hear more than anything else from a girl is, wow, what don't you do? Or you are full of surprises, as you begin to just reveal more and more incrementally that she discovers. In the words of Rich Cooper, another author in the red pill space, if your game and your frame is right, a girl will let you do literally anything to her except bore her. Always have a girl on a constant journey of discovery. Never let her feel like she has you completely figured out. Now, in the course of the conversation over the date, I'm sure that she's going to say something that you may disagree with. Do not be afraid to be a little bit disagreeable to her. This will actually make you a little bit more attractive, as it shows confidence and abundance mindset that doesn't care about her being offended. How many times have you seen desperate simps agreeing to everything a girl says as to not offend him? For example, a girl might ask on a date, "How do you feel about Andrew Tate? I see him all over TikTok and he seems to be making a lot of people upset." How many times have you seen a dude be like, "Oh, I hate Andrew Tate. He's so rude to women. I think he should treat women better. I think that that's misogyny. Women deserve so much more respect and honor." And then the girl says, "Well, I actually kind of like the idea of Andrew Tate being a strong masculine alpha male and encouraging men to stand up and be men." And then this simp who can't even offend this girl because he's so afraid of losing her, his only shot at getting some pussy, might turn around and say, "Oh, well, you know what? Yeah, I agree too. Andrew Tate's not that bad. I think he's a good influence overall. You know, I agree with you." Like, the dude will agree with anything. He's afraid to be disagreeable. He's afraid to say anything to offend her, and that makes him seem like a desperate little simp. Being a little bit disagreeable will actually make you more attractive because it'll show that you're confident, that you are a leader, and that you have your own opinion. Now, there's also a caveat to this. Being overly disagreeable and condescending is a turnoff and can be counterproductive, as most girls have the sole expectation of being worshipped, being totally just pedestalized at all times because that's what they're used to. However, just a little bit of disagreeableness is extremely helpful in building attraction. There's a way to be disagreeable, but do it tactfully in a way that still boosts her ego and makes her more attracted to you. For example, if she asks that question of, "What do you feel about Andrew Tate? I see him all over TikTok. He's making a lot of people upset and very controversial figure." Now, you know in the back of her head that more than likely she's going to be seduced by the TikTok media and be programmed to think that Andrew Tate is a bad guy, like most people on social media think. But you could say this. You can say, "You know what? I think Andrew Tate's actually a really positive role model. He tells men to be the best men that they can be. He tells men to be confident, to be strong, to get their money in order, to get their physique in order, to get their confidence and their personal development and personal goals where they need to be so that they can be the best person they can be for a woman, so that they can be the protector, the provider, the solid rock that a woman needs in her life." And that's ultimately the kind of man that most women want. So I think Andrew Tate is overall a positive influence and makes men better men for women. Notice how I said that tactfully. And I put that in a way that she can't disagree with it, but I knew she probably would not initially be on the same page as me. And because I'm able to be confident in how I feel, back up and validate how I feel, that actually makes me more attractive. You'd be surprised how many girls I have seduced, even though I openly disagreed with most of their views and did it tactfully and did it intelligently. I'm gonna be honest, guys, and this is gonna make me sound misogynist, but it's really just, exploring the truth. Most girls don't have any depth to their convictions at all because they've never been challenged on their viewpoints. Most girls, no one ever disagrees with them, especially men, because men are so desperate to try to smash them. So these girls have never even developed any depth to how they feel or why they feel how they feel. So if you can eloquently explain why you say what you say and believe what you do in a rational and tactful way, a woman would think that you are super intelligent, even if what you're saying is just common sense, because they've never actually had to develop any kind of logical conviction. So not being afraid to tactfully disagree with a woman does multiple things for you. One, it shows that you are a confident and competent leader, going back to those attraction triggers that women have, all the way back from the caveman days. Two, it implies that you have abundance in other women since you aren't afraid to disagree with her and not afraid to possibly scare her away. It essentially implies that she is not your only option, which boosts you up in pre-selection in her mind. Three, it establishes that your frame is the one that she will be molding into and not the opposite. A girl wants a man, whether she says it or not, a girl wants a man where she can mold into his frame, into his leadership capacity, and not the other way around. Girls inherently want this. And being a little bit disagreeable, but being tactful with it and backing it up, establishes your frame as the dominant one. Now, guys, I realize I went way longer in this episode than I was intending. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pick up where we left off in a part 2 of landing the perfect first date. So guys, I hope I added value to your life. We're gonna pick right back up where we left off at being just a little bit disagreeable, to work in your favor, to establishing the frame on the first date, and make her want to smash you. All right, guys, I hope I added value to your life. I hope I helped to make you the strongest, the sexiest, the most ripped, the most rich man that you could possibly be, because that's what we're about on the MDmedic podcast. Making you the best. MDmedic podcast, we out. Tune in for episode 2 of this. Let's go.